Welcome back to the At Risk podcast. I'm your host, Maxilia, and today's episode is a little different. We will be discussing some really heavy themes in today's episode. Not that we don't already talk about heavy themes, but I will be giving a trigger warning for today's video as it will discuss violence, gang activity, death, and personal stories of harm in Haiti. Some descriptions may be upsetting or re-traumatizing for listeners, especially those with lived experiences of violence or displacement. Please take care of yourself while listening. If you need to pause or skip sections, do what feels right for you and your health. So, why is there a trigger warning on today's episode? I am going to be sharing some deeply personal stories coming straight out of Haiti in relation to the political unrest that's been happening with the insurgence of gangs. I mean, the rise of gang violence in Haiti has been like nothing we have ever seen before in the country. And I want to talk about how everything that is happening in Haiti and has happened in Haiti is a precursor for what is going to happen to Venezuela. What the fuck do Haiti and Venezuela have to do with each other? A lot. And in today's episode, I break down piece by piece the similarities in Haiti's history and what will most likely occur to Venezuela if we do not step in and say, A, no war on Venezuela, and B, we stop falling for this crazy type of propaganda that the United States pushes out against some of these other nations. So let's hop into the episode if you're still here. So, like I said, today's episode starts off with a trigger warning, rightfully so. I just want to kind of set the scene for basically like all that has happened in the past couple of weeks. This is not a movie. This is real life. After years of living in fear and staying in hiding, it finally happened. The gangs in Haiti finally came for my family. Last week, I received a phone call at 7 a.m., and instantly I knew it was bad news. On the line, the person was frantic as they detailed that our family home in Saint-Marc, Haiti, was ransacked by gangs. Doors kicked in, rooms torn apart, my uncle shot and killed, a family friend burnt alive. This is not fiction. This is what's happening right now in Haiti to my family and to the family of millions. How could things get like this? Fuck nous font bagaille. We must do something. These are not headlines to me. These are people that I actually know and love. These are rooms that I know. These are voices I can still hear. And some of those voices are gone now. At the same time that Haiti is going through all of this turmoil, Haitians in the United States are facing something entirely different. Temporary protected status may end, and people may be told to return to the very danger that they fled the United States for. Many Haitians have already been kidnapped by ICE. And at the time of filming this video, 2 Haitian people have died in ICE custody, with the recent deaths bringing the total detainee deaths to 30 in the year 2025. Now, I'm filming this early January 2026. You will be seeing this video in 2026, but no, as late as December 2025, it was reported that roughly 30 people have died in ICE custody. The highest number of people that died in ICE custody was that was ever reported was in 2004, and it was 32 people that died. I have a feeling that if something is not done about the treatment of undocumented people and also documented people, because they're literally wrapping up any minority, if we don't do something, that number of detainee deaths is 100% gonna skyrocket. Like, we need to do something. Like, that is scary as fuck. That 30 people have already died, and the highest number of reported deaths in over 20 years is 32. So this is not a crisis that Haiti is simply having over there. This is our families, our communities, our people. This impacts people we know in real life. Haiti is bleeding, okay? And unless policy changes, unless weapons trafficking is confronted, unless we stop pretending that any of this is accidental, more people are going to die. This episode is not about pity. It's about truth, history, accountability, and what we can do now to make a difference. Ultimately, what this episode will break down is what the similarities are in what has happened in Haiti's history compared to what is happening today in Venezuela. So we're going to talk about France and the United States' exploitation of Haiti, France forcing Haiti to pay for its own freedom, the US and French interference in Haitian politics, Aristide, which was one of Haiti's presidents, how he was exiled and essentially overthrown, what is happening with temporary protected status and why that matters now, and what Americans can do to help Haiti. It's important for us to understand that Haiti did not fail. Haiti was sabotaged. And in order for us to understand what is happening in Venezuela, we must open our eyes and look at Haiti, for it is quite literally the blueprint. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about Haiti and its history. We cannot talk about the Haitian Revolution without first acknowledging the role that women played and also acknowledging the role that voodoo played. What do I mean by that? On August 14th, 1791, a secret gathering of enslaved people was led by Dutty Boukman, who was a voodoo priest, and Mambo Cecile Fatiman, who was a voodoo priestess. Now, they, as enslaved leaders amongst the enslaved people, this is when Haiti was being oppressed by the French. They were colonized by the French. They were stolen from Africa and forced to work in cotton fields, on plantations, sugarcane, like harvest spice, all these different things. And one thing that all the Africans had in common, despite being from key regions across the continent of Africa, was that they all believed in some type of voodoo. They all practiced some kind of voodoo. They all preached and believed in the voodoo god, whatever the case might be, right? Why are we talking about this? Because it is on this day that they have a secret meeting. They have a secret voodoo ritual. And they decide, they being the enslaved people, they will no longer suffer at the hands of the French. They will no longer suffer at the hands of the Spaniards. They will no longer suffer the consequences and the pain and suffering that is inflicted upon them by the British. So they realize, hey, the only thing that we have in common is that we believe in voodoo. What if we combined our beliefs and built a pact with one another, a secret pact, an omen that we would like a pact or belief that we will keep to ourselves, keep secret until we die. So upon creating this ritual, what happens in Haiti during this time, before it becomes Haiti, is it creates a community. It creates a pact. It creates a mission statement. Ultimately, what happens is they decide that they will revolt against their masters. This is when the language Haitian Creole is created. Many people think that Haitian Creole is broken French. Garon qui despectant. How disrespectful. How uneducated to not know that the language was created so that the slaves could conspire the revolt without being caught. Because the French thought Haitians were too stupid to actually be able to speak French properly. So when Haitians created the language Creole and started speaking it around, the French genuinely thought that Haitians were just dumb as fuck and couldn't speak like French well. But really, in the dead of night, they were whispering in Creole, created a secret language so that they could create a pathway to liberation. So, a full-fledged slave revolt begins following the voodoo ritual in 1791. By February 1973, slaves are basically being turned into revolutionaries. They're like, fuck this. Fuck being a slave. I'm not going to be treated this way. I'm not less than human. I am going to fight for my freedom. So they start uprisings on these plantations. The British see an opportunity to control the French colony of Saint-Domingue. And so what the British do is they start giving weapons to the French slaves, basically being like, oh yeah, we're going to help you out. We're going to support you. We just want to see you guys be free. But really, they're on some bullshit. They just want to see France fall. So that's happening in 1793. By May 1794, the slave rebels, now led by Toussaint Louverture, turn on the Spanish, knowing that the Spanish still wish to enslave them. And after losing 100,000 men to disease and death, the British ultimately withdraw from Haiti. They stop helping in the war and they stop supplying weapons to the Haitians. They just leave. So now the Haitians don't have the British backing them up. Now it's 1799. The British have left, and Toussaint Louverture is in the north holding shit down, okay? When Toussaint Louverture becomes the guy, when he becomes the guy taking charge of the Haitian army, the Haitian rebel army, he starts to employ guerrilla tactics. He very much so believes they gotta die. They have to die. We have to fight for our freedom by any means necessary. We must dismantle the slave master's home. And things start to pick up really quickly after Toussaint Louverture leads the army. By 1802, they've made like pretty great headway. He's even written a new constitution declaring himself the governor and calls for Haiti to have a sovereign state. People weren't even thinking that. When Haiti was fighting, never once did the French think that Haiti would want its own nation. But by 1802, Napoleon, that French demon, basically tricks Toussaint Louverture to come to France, basically saying like, hey, we are going to do right by you guys. We're going to fix this thing, blah, blah, blah. Turns out Napoleon is a snake. He lied to Toussaint Louverture, and Toussaint Louverture ends up getting locked up in jail while he is in France. While this is happening, General Dessalines takes over, and he, like Toussaint Louverture, they were different. They had different ideologies, but they both deeply wanted Black people to be free by any means necessary. And so he takes an even stronger approach. By 1804, Haiti has beat the French's ass. Literally, they never thought we could do it, but on January 1st, 1804, General Dessalines would declare that Haiti is the first Black nation of slaves. He would declare that Haiti is free. So that's like a Spark Notes version of how Haiti became a free nation. Really, I really recommend reading up on the Haitian Revolution. Highly recommend watching documentaries on it. It is such a powerful like story. Women played key roles in this revolution. Men fought for years to be free. They used guerrilla warfare tactics. They were smart. They were innovative. I mean, literally, please do yourself a favor. Educate yourself on the Haitian Revolution. But that's essentially the Sparks Notes version. So yes, in 1804, Haiti becomes the first Black republic in the world. But France is not having it. France was a bunch of sore losers. France would return to Haiti with warships, threatening to invade Haiti once again. Mind you, the slaves just freed the land. They're trying to get back on their feet because they burnt down a lot of stuff. They destroyed these plantations. There were like essentially no more plantations like left really in Haiti. Like they had been burnt down, they had been destroyed. And France was pissed about it. France was like, I could have made hella bread. Okay? Like I could have made mad guap and you ruined it for me. How dare you want rights? How dare you want to be treated as a human being? How dare you pay me all the money you owe me? Yes. France asked for reparations. The audacity. But according to the New York Times and Equal Justice Initiative, these payments that Haiti was forced to pay drained Haiti's economy for generations. Haiti is over 220 years old. And despite how old it is still suffering the repercussions of everything that happened in the 17 and 1800s. Because this money that they gave to France and that they were forced to pay France stifled any investments in schools, any investments in infrastructure, any investments in hospitals. This is the only case in the world, literally the only case in world history where the enslaved people were forced to pay the enslavers. Legal scholars in the NYU Journal of International Law and Politics call it what it was: economic theft. Even French President Emmanuel Macron has acknowledged the injustice and has said that if Haiti were to get paid back by France, like if France were to pay Haiti back, France might go bankrupt. That's how much money. That is how much money is on the line here that we're talking about right now. Yet, Haiti has never been repaid. Not even been offered like a program with France where France allows like legal pathways to citizenship or something. Nothing. Ultimately, Haiti paid for its freedom twice. First in blood, second in money.
See, a big part of me really wants to enjoy this. Look at this. I'm in Paris. But then I think to myself, you bitches owe Haiti money. Pay up, bitch.
And I know we're talking about the French a lot, but the USA is just as complicit. Because from the years 1915 to 1934, the US Marines occupied Haiti. The US, not only for over 100, literally for what felt like forever, they refused to recognize Haiti as a country. And then when they finally recognize it as a country, they decide, oh, let's invade it. So US Marines took control of customs, all the customs for Haiti, finances, and the national bank. So they're controlling the money, they're controlling finances, and what was most egregiously done by the United States was that it restructured Haiti's politics to benefit US business interests. This is no different than what happened in Guatemala when the United States overthrew a democratically elected president, replaced that president with a dictator. No, that was Iran, sorry. In Iran, sorry. They replaced the president with a dictator. And to this day, Iran has suffered the consequences of that action. So not only did Haiti get fucked over by France, but then America was like, oh, let me also bully you. These are tools of destabilization. When you take over a country like that and you control their finances, you control their politics, it's not a good look. It restructures the nation for generations. And it benefits not the people that live in the country, but those that live abroad. And not even like the interest of like the average American, but the interest of like the 1%. So, to understand why Haiti's politics have been so shit, we need to go back to the first democratically elected president and tell his story. In order for us to talk about his subsequent removal, we must first discuss the vision he had for Haiti. And I must give a shout out to Rutgers University for having a class on Haiti that I took. It was like a 300 or 400 credit level class, and it was riveting. And that is where I learned about President Aristide, and I learned about Haitian politics more. And just shout out to those of you that are at institutions that still teach these type of things, because it is imperative, because I wouldn't know the information I know now had it not been for that class. So, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, or President Aristide, as we will call him in today's episode, was a priest who believed in liberation theology. Now, from my understanding, liberation theology is like essentially believing in the gospel will liberate you. So it's like how you can preach the teachings of Jesus Christ and like talk about how poor people deserve socialist benefits. Because like Jesus would want people to have socialist benefits, okay? Like Jesus will want you to have universal health care. So those are kind of like the arguments that Aristide is kind of like shaping in Haiti. He's arguing that schools should be accessible to everyone, that paying for hospital fees is really expensive and that hospitals should be free. He talks about how military abuse should be stopped. And he becomes really freaking popular. Like, so popular that there's a movement that rises out from this. It's called the Lavalas movement. I definitely butchered that. but it basically represents Haiti's poor majority. So market women, farmers, field workers, and his politics were bottom up. If you want society to be better, you need to fix and support the people at the bottom. You need to support them financially, economic, like you need to support them financially, emotionally, and also academically. And he believed that we should not support just the elite. In fact, the elite are a small minority. Why are we prioritizing their wants and wishes over our wants and wishes? So he becomes super popular. His core platform that he fought on is fighting corruption and elite capture. He openly campaigned on dismantling the small elite networks that had dominated Haiti since independence and blocked democracy. He pushed to raise the minimum wage, including in the garment section, dominated by foreign corruptions. This is really what would start to get him some weird looks from people overseas, because he basically said, like, if clothes are being made in Haiti, the merchants that, like, the people making the clothes should get paid more. Sorry. Like, people should get paid a living wage. And people didn't like that. People from overseas did not like that. They were like, what do you mean I have to pay Haitians a living wage? I've been gypping the Haitians for years. Is the 90s. Like, what the fuck do you mean I have to pay them equally? So he becomes super unpopular because of that stance. Then he advocated land redistribution away from large land distributors. So land is held by key people in Haiti. And what he said is that majority of the rural community who actually grows Haiti's food should be the ones to have more land. Like, why does some guy in Port-au-Prince have 40 acres when Timanishka, who owns a farm in Pierre can't get more than like 2, 3, 4 acres? Like, what is that? What is that? She grows rice. She needs land. Okay? And Einstein understood that because he came from a poor family. He himself was poor. So he knew. He knew the struggles. His government began expanding literacy programs when he became elected. But let's roll this back. He was really into reading, believed in reading books, believed in education, believed in building schools, and he wanted to make healthcare accessible beyond Port-au-Prince, because honestly, if you didn't live in Port-au-Prince, that was really the only place that you could get access to like adequate healthcare in the 90s, because in the rural communities, there's virtually no hospitals. And so these are the stances that he ran on that led to him being elected eventually. Needless to say, the man was very, very popular. Another thing that's like really interesting about Aristide, one of his policies that like got him into a lot of trouble, is that he didn't want to keep borrowing money from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. He wanted to start borrowing, like he wanted to make like a World Bank, but with just Caribbean countries and African countries. So like Haiti could borrow money from Martinique if they needed help, and then like Martinique could borrow money from Jamaica if they needed help, instead of owing the World Bank and getting these crazy ass loan fees. And yeah, he was not popular for that. I mean, people in Haiti loved it. People in Haiti were like, yes, this is so good. People in America were like, what did he say? What did that loser say? Like, yeah, they were not having it. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that Aristide attempted to weaken the abusive old military structures and replace them with a civilian police force to reduce the oppression that the Haitian military was causing the people that live there, because the military was on some Basically, Haiti had been in dictatorship for several years, and the military played a key role in that. And so when they finally said that we were going to have a real election, and this guy was saying, like, oh, I think the military are weird, and I think that we should give them less power, military personnel did not love that. They hated that, actually. So, Aristide was beloved by many Haitians, and this was threatening to elites inside Haiti and abroad. He was radical because he centered the poor. He ran on shifting power away from a tiny elite towards millions of Haitians who had never been allowed to participate in democracy before. Understandably, he was really popular and he would win the 1991 election by a landslide. He actually won 2/3 of the vote. Aristide wins the election. By February 1991, he takes office. But by September, only 8 months later, he was removed in a military coup led by General Raoul Cedras. The military junta, that was, I don't know, that's what they were calling themselves, that overthrew the president in 1991 would ultimately rule Haiti through a violent repression for several years to come. Essentially, the Haitian elite is believed, through the help of foreign influences, of course, i.e., America and France, is believed to have helped make a successful coup against Aristide. And the Human Rights Watch and the United Nations Human Rights reported how powerful elites and segments of the army perceived Aristide as an existential threat. And after the coup, over 1,000 people were killed by the army and paramilitary groups. And popular organizing was brutally suppressed. So Haiti was known for years for being like so vocal in these protests and like these acts of like political demonstration and showcasing like their disdain for the government, and they were really creative in their expression against the government. And after Aristide was forcibly removed from power, basically nobody was protesting. Everybody was scared. Nobody was even allowed to protest if they wanted to. So Amnesty International actually documented extrajudicial killings in the days immediately following the coup, including the killing of journalists and civilians throughout Haiti. So literally like the day after Aristide is like replaced, so many journalists start getting killed in Haiti. So many people become political, like people literally have to flee Haiti because of all the chaos that is happening during this time. The parliamentary organization FWAP also emerged and carried out terror campaigns against Aristide supporters. The pattern matters. Aristide wasn't overthrown because Haiti is unstable. He was overthrown because he wanted to shift power to the poor rather than the small, rich elite. So then some time passes, and Aristide, he ain't no bitch. He makes a comeback. A comeback like none you've ever seen before. Why did this man get restored to office? Just like people were sick of the old government. They were like, put Aristide back. Like, you guys should have never gotten power. Like, you guys suck. I'm not going to go into all the history. But ultimately, all you need to know is that Aristide regains power sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s. But on February 5th, 2004, according to the Organization of American States report, OAS, conflict broke out in Gonaïves, which is a city in Haiti. Armed opponents of the government attacked police stations and courthouses. Over the next 3 weeks, the violence would escalate. And on February 29th, as insurgents threatened to advance on Port-au-Prince, which is the capital of Haiti. It's also where the White House is, where the president is staying. So as they're encroaching on Port-au-Prince, the president, Aristide, was removed from office. Now, there are conflicting tales about what happened. But what we do know is Aristide is no longer in Haiti. Rebels stormed the capital. And I think he literally lives in exile now in Jamaica. And if you ask the United States, if you're like, hey, girly pop, like, what happened with Haiti's president in 2004 and who was president in 2004? Anyway, they will say the official story endorsed by the US government was that Aristide resigned and chose to leave during an escalating crisis. Congressman Gregory Meeks famously said, early Sunday morning, Haitian President Jean Aristide just resigned and went into exile. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? He just resigned and went into exile. Who just resigns and goes into exile? Like, what are you talking about? However, Aristide and his allies have a very, very different take on what happened. They say, quote, I did not resign. What some people call a resignation is a new coup d'etat or a modern day kidnapping. Aristide said, speaking about his removal. He and others describe his removal as a coercion, with foreign pressure and threats playing a key role. Some accounts say U.S. officials told Aristide if he did not leave, he and other Haitians would be killed and or left without protection against insurgents. Insurgents that the United States kind of stoked the fires of. It is believed. Allegedly. So even the question of whether Aristide voluntarily resigned is highly debated. If you have Aristide tell it, it was a modern day kidnapping. He had to get out of Haiti before America got to him. Despite the US government publicly denying orchestrating his removal, multiple sources show US political and military involvement. The Los Angeles Times detailed how Aristide shared that he felt as though the United States tried to kidnap him. Private diplomatic cables and reporting also suggest U.S. support for the insurgency and for the post-coup d'etat transition was broader than publicly acknowledged. So after they get rid of the president, the United States gets real fucking cute. They say, even though we never backed this coup, just because we support the regime that's in power now and we refuse to defend Aristide against the rebels, that doesn't mean we set him up. Mind you, the day after Aristide leaves, guess who led a multinational military force? The United States, of course. The United States leading troops from France, Chile, Canada, all justified under a United Nations Security Council resolution aimed at stabilizing the country after the coup. Mind you, America is is that confetti? I don't know. Mind you, America is literally the reason that they're in this distress in the first place. So then they go to the United Nations. They're like, you know what we should do? We should bring all our troops to Haiti to fix everything that's happening and make sure that they're straight, like that their country is back to normal. What? You're the reason they don't have a president. So, U.S. forces entered Haiti immediately after Aristide left. And then the United States played a key role in the leadership of the multinational stabilization mission. And then they have the audacity to be like, I had nothing to do with it. And you know what's also crazy? France, you're not low. The role of France during the 2004 removal of Aristide, basically, in a French ambassador to Haiti at the time told the New York Times that France and the United States had effectively orchestrated a coup against Aristide by forcing him to exile because his demands included reparations for Haiti's forced independence debt. And that had made powerful nations extremely uncomfortable. So France was a key diplomatic partner with the United States and Canada in shaping the post-Aristide transition in the international response through the United Nations mission. So even Caribbean heads of state criticized the lack of transparency about what was happening in Haiti. For example, Jamaica's prime minister questioned whether Aristide's departure was truly voluntary, given the circumstances and the timing of international intervention. How can you say you had nothing to do with this country's downfall and demise? And in the early 19th century, you take over their country. In the early 21st century, you also take over their country. Now, what does this have to do with Venezuela? President Maduro slept in his bed next to his wife, sleeping comfortably, real cute, real cuddled up, and he got kidnapped. How did that happen? First off, Congress was supposed to approve that. Congress did not approve shit. But, like, I wonder, did Congress approve the coup d'etat that America did in Haiti? I digress. Anyway. So we know that they conspired to get the president out of the country. That is the same thing that Trump did. Trump wants Venezuela's oil. I'm so sorry. If you think none of this has to do with resources, I need you to open your eyes. Everything has to do with resources. Literally everything. Literally everything has to do with resources. Literally everything has to do with money. Politics is about money. Politics is about power and control. All of this is connected. Venezuela has oil. Trump wants the oil. He keeps telling us that the reason they're doing this is because, gang violence and drug trafficking and blah, 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 blah. Now, that's not me saying Maduro was this great president. He's an illegitimate president in Venezuela. He's actually not supposed to be the president. He pretty much took over in a violent coup himself. But what we're not going to do is keep kidnapping people's presidents. This is not the first time the United States has done this. They did it to Haiti. They did it to Guatemala. They did it to Iran. They're doing it to Venezuela. This is not coincidental. The same way Aristide felt as though he had to flee or he would have died is the same way that the United States essentially is orchestrating this criminal charges against the president of Venezuela. That's not me saying that the president of Venezuela was great. I didn't say that. I'm just saying the United States should not be able to dispose and full on kidnap the president of a country. But I want you guys to know that America has done this before. And if we don't look at history, history will repeat itself. If we do not learn, history will repeat itself. The coup did not happen in a vacuum. It's important for us to recognize that some of the tactics that were used by international powers against Haiti were also used on Venezuela. So what do I mean by that? International aid was blocked or restricted after election controversies. Opposition parties and business elites supported armed resistance from bases in the Democratic Republic. And U.S. and other Western diplomats were unwilling to support Aristide's government in the face of mounting violence. The United States, along with various other Western diplomats, have decided we're not going to step in to help Venezuela in any way, shape, or form. Kind of shiesty, kind of messed up, kind of sad. It is what it is. What is also alarming is the way that Venezuela has had aid blocked to them every time that man has been president. Every time that Trump has been president, he has had beef with Venezuela. What is his beef, you ask? I have guys, it's resources. It's resources, it's oil, it's the amount of money that these people can make by destabilizing governments. The point is, removing democratically elected leaders destabilizes a nation. That is just simply the truth. And we will see more of this in the coming days if you pay close attention to what is happening in Venezuela. They have now removed a president. They will now put their own guy in power who America historically has not picked good people to run other people's countries. Like, they simply could not be bothered to pick someone whose actual values are to uplift that nation and its people. Because when people find someone who does, then they threaten to kidnap them like they did Aristide. So now we have to get into gangs, weapons, and today's crisis. Here's a critical truth. The gang violence in Haiti is destabilizing the country in a way we have never seen before. This is different from the kidnappings that would happen in the early 2000s that Haiti struggled with. When discussing gang violence in Haiti, you are not discussing it in good faith if you do not take the time to address the fact that Haiti does not manufacture guns. Why does it matter that Haiti does not manufacture guns? I'm glad you asked. Haiti does not manufacture guns, yet gangs in Haiti are heavily armed, often more than the police. In fact, reports from the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime show that Haitian gangs now have more firepower than security forces. And the majority of those guns are trafficked abroad. In fact, America's quarterly reports about 70% of guns recovered in Haiti can be traced back to U.S. dealers. PBS NewsHour also documented how weapons are trafficked from Florida ports and U.S. cities into Haiti. So they're often hidden in shipping containers and entering through weekly monitored ports. The U.S. Department of Justice even prosecuted members of a Haitian gang called Katsamauzo and the other groups for smuggling rifles and ammunition into Haiti. So when people ask, why are there gangs in Haiti? They need to be freaking asking this instead. Who armed them? Who profits from the chaos? Who benefits from a weak Haitian state? It is important to note that almost all of the guns in Haiti come from the United States. That is really important to note because as Haiti goes through this crisis with the rise of gang violence and the rise of gun violence in the nation, I think that that is deplorable, that a developing country is being plagued by gun violence, is being plagued by gang violence, is being plagued by political violence, and then the United States does nothing to help them, despite the fact that in the early 1900s, you twisted their laws to make it benefit you better. You call them your allies, yet whenever they're having these types of issues, you do nothing to help them. And this is not just an issue with Democratic or Republican presidents. This is like both part of the aisles could give less of a fuck about Haiti and like actually giving people resources. Like, what is temporary protected status? Haiti hasn't been stable in over 50 years. Give these people a real pathway to citizenship. Why hasn't France created a pathway to citizenship for these people? Instead, they concoct plans to destabilize the nation, put in their own puppets to rule the country, and they're going to do the same thing to Venezuela. We need to ask, where are the guns in Venezuela coming from? Yeah, I said it. Where do you guys think the guns in Venezuela come from? Exactly. Most of them come from the United States. They are US manufactured firearms that are trafficked to Colombia, that are then trafficked into Venezuela, that are then used by gangs in Venezuela, US manufactured firearms to destabilize their country. Same thing happened to Honduras. The same thing happened to Honduras. It is crazy the way that the United States will participate, heavy on the alleged, I guess, but you can literally trace the facts of this. I will put all the sources in the description. But like, the way that the United States has like played a part in the destabilization of so many countries is something that should be studied. Like, someone's PhD dissertation needs to be about the profound effects that have impacted these countries. Like, think about the fact that, like, if Haiti were able to actually get a president that demanded reparations, then all the other nations, black nations that were harmed by colonialism, would also ask for reparations. Do you know how much money Belgium would owe the Congo? Yeah. It would be crazy. And every time there is a radical president, whether you agree with their values or not, and I'm not saying that Aristide and Maduro had the same values and same principles, they did not. But I'm saying, whenever you go out your way to politically destabilize a nation and your guns are making their way into other people's countries, and then instead of helping them, you block pathways to citizenship and you turn your backs on them. So on top of everything on the ground, many Haitians in the US also face the end of protection. Temporary protected status for Haiti is currently set to expire on February 3rd, 2026. That is not a lot of time. So unless it is further extended, people are basically in a situation where they may very well be deported back to Haiti, despite the fact that Barbecue, there's some gang leader named Barbecue is terrorizing the masses. Real people will be forced to return to gang-controlled neighborhoods, mass displacement, collapsing healthcare, food shortages, and political instability. Mind you, since the president of Haiti was last assassinated, sidebar, president of Haiti got assassinated not too long ago. And since then, no president. No president. That just some random council of people have appointed themselves rulers. And yeah, that's what's going on in Haiti right now. But anyway, advocates and immigration researchers warn that the ending of TPS now puts the lives at risk because Haiti still meets the crisis criteria. So Haiti still meets the criteria for a country that someone should be seeking asylum from because there's so much political unrest. There's no president. The country is destabilized. There's no economy. No one can go to school. No one can go to work. Doctors are getting kidnapped off the street. Missionaries are getting shot in the face. Families are being displaced. People are being burnt alive. Like, it is not good. It is not good. And the gangs have more firepower than the fucking police. So, when Trump purposely decides, I'm going to end temporary protected status for this group of people, not just the Haitians, but also the Venezuelans. Over 600,000 Venezuelans have lost access to temporary protected status, making it possible for them to be deported. Mind you, Trump just kidnapped their president, and like, what do you think the state of their country looks like right now? It's not good. It's not good. It's actually absurd, and we need to do something. So what can people do? We are not powerless. Yes, I'm going to say the obvious. Contact your U.S. senators and representatives. Tell them you support full TPS, extensions for Venezuelans and Haitians, and pathways to permanent status for Haitians. But also, I need you to call local politicians. You need to be urging them to carry materials that support Haitian migrants. For example, in New Jersey, we have an office called the Office of New Americans, and state and city officials alike, basically assembly members and council members and whatnot, would have these types of materials like how to get access to healthcare, how to get access to SNAP benefits, how to get access to food pantries, how to get access to menstrual products, like getting these how to get translation services. So like getting these resources is really important for people, and like our local communities can provide that, because right now our federal politicians, yeah. Anyway, we must urge legal challenges and litigation. Like, we need to support groups like Lawyers for Civil Rights who are filing federal lawsuits to block the termination of TPS for Haitians and Venezuelans. You can support these efforts through awareness and donations. We could do like bingo board fundraisings, and just like fraternities and sororities could like make this their local chapter of cause to provide resources for you yourself. Among your friend group could create a fundraiser and raise money and funds for these organizations to do this type of work. You can connect immigrants with legal and social services. Some services are the National Immigrant Justice Center, which offers legal defense and helps keeps families together. I'm also going to put a lot of these resources down below in the description, but you could share information about these organizations with friends and community groups. And if you're an attorney or you speak Creole, French, English, or Spanish, you can volunteer your time to assist with TPS, asylum, and other immigration filings, like help people fill out their paperwork. Donate to immigrant legal defense funds. We talked about that. And then support local community organizations like Haitian Support Center, which offers education, job training, ESL classes, mentorship, and advocacy work. There's also, like, for example, in Springfield, Maryland, there's something called Able Law, which provides assistance with TPS, work permits, and asylum applications. So you could always volunteer your time or provide English lessons, donate supplies like laptops, school materials, menstrual products for people that are afraid to leave their home, for people that don't have access to these resources. A lot of people are going to be losing access to healthcare now that Donald Trump has like passed the big beautiful bill. Bullcrap. Um Basically that's going to lead to a lot of people losing healthcare, and now undocumented people will not be allowed to receive healthcare by federally funded health community centers. um that's fucked up. And so we need to make sure that we are showing up for these people, that work for Planned Parenthood, stockpile on abortion pills and contraceptives, and access to Plan B and things of that nature, like things that people will need to survive, things that are preventative, because it is rough out there and no one will be able to survive without community. You need to have each other's back. We cannot continue to let ICE kidnap people off the street and not, film it so that we can alert people's families. Now, I know that the federal government is trying to pass a law where basically it's considered doxing ICE agents if you decide, like, oh, I'm gonna film them. But like, people need to film people being taken away from their families so other people's families can know if someone has been taken by ICE. Because it's not like ICE is notifying people's families. It's not like people are being notified that it's ICE in the first place that's kidnapping them. So we need to support relief and development in Haiti directly. So there's organizations like Care for Haiti, Free Haiti Inc. We could donate to causes you trust rather than giving cash directly to individuals. This helps ensure accountability and sustainable impact. You could sponsor specific programs like food securities, medical clinics, and school supplies within Venezuela. You could lobby and do grassroots advocacy work. So basically, doing campaigns that push for better policies, that support groups like the National TPS Alliance, which is led by TPS beneficiaries advocating to reinstate protections to build paths to permanent residency. And then you can sign petitions and write to Congress urging for permanent protections for Haitians and Venezuelan TPS holders, humanitarian parole and asylum access. We could call upon the United Nations to literally do their fucking job and not allow the United States, which has had a role in destabilizing both countries, then deport all these people back to that country. Like, that's insane work. Like, that's terrible. That is evil. So we need to attend town halls with immigration officials. We need to partner with unions and student associations. And basically, we need to just do the damn thing. We need to advocate. We need to connect. We need to volunteer. We need to amplify. And we need to push France toward restitution for stolen wealth and challenge narratives that blame Haitians and Venezuelans for engineered crises. France and America owe Haiti. America owes Venezuela. Morally, historically, economically. That is it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's a right way to do things, and the right way would be for France to pay Haiti back. And the right thing would be for America to stop destabilizing nations and uprooting people's presidents, whether they're good or bad, without letting the people pick for themselves. And even when the people pick for themselves, America goes in and does its thing and will overthrow that person so that they can benefit their own self-interest. And that's just not cool. That's not fair. And it's honestly despicable. And I just hope that this was a really informative video. I literally ran after work to film this. I really wanted to talk about this topic. I really think that it is imperative that we do what needs to be done to educate ourselves. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. Please, 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 please like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. It's extremely uncomfortable because think about it. If sorry, Cookie, I didn't mean to scare you. Sorry. I'm sorry. Don't leave me. Don't leave. I'm here. We're gonna take a 2-second break to acknowledge my son. Oh, he's so beautiful. You can go now. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. Okay, anyway.